Hey there! Today we're going to talk about Final Cut Pro, and we're going to take a look at the workspace. We're going to start to understand all the different parts of the screen and everything. Understanding how a piece of software works and how to get around in it is really key to becoming effective as a video editor. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up Final Cut, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, when you first open up Final Cut Pro, you're going to come to an interface that looks like this. Okay, let's talk about, you see that we have a space here, 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 right here, and then we have some things in the middle right here. So I'm going to talk about the space of screen. This right here is the library pane. This is where different collections, a library is a collection of different what we call events or projects. We'll deal with this in another video. But this is where all of your main files in your libraries are going to live. This right here is your browser window. In the browser window, you're going to have two things. The browser window is actually where the event gets displayed. When we click on this right here, you notice that right here I have an untitled project already. If I had clips, they would appear right here. So everything you need for a specific project, for a specific thing, is going to live in an event, and it's going to be displayed right here. I'll show you this again in a minute. This right here is our viewer window. In the viewer window is where you can see all your clips. If I scan clips right here, if I come over and I run clips down here, you're going to see that work. You're going to see it displayed up here. Okay, this right here is your timeline. Right now we don't have anything in there yet. Okay, so and right here is an inspector. We'll talk in depth about the inspector. But it's where you're going to see different attributes of clips, text, things like that. I'm going to use a shortcut. I'm going to hit Command 4. That is something you're going to want to memorize. Command 4 opens and closes that inspector window. I just leaned on something. Okay, will open and close that inspector window. Okay, so besides this, if I come down here and I click on New Project, it's going to give me a chance to title the project. It's going to ask me what event it's in. I'm just going to click OK. So you can see that I have a timeline down here. Okay. In my timeline, I have two different things. I have what's called a skimmer. This is this red part. And then I have the playhead. Okay. The playhead is what moves when you're actually playing your video. We'll talk about that in another time. Now that you know the parts of the screen, you also see that we have some little icons around here, these tools. These tools you would think would all be in one spot, but they're strategically placed in Final Cut Pro to be very in close proximity to the area you're going to be working. For instance, this little arrow is the import window, which you're always using up here. This right here sets keywords, which is going to apply to right here. This little checkbox right here just shows you what's happening in the background, and we'll deal with this in another video. I'm going to go ahead and shut that off. Okay. Then we come over here. We have some display tools that affect the viewer. And then down here, we have some tools, okay, that are just editing tools. All right. Again, we'll talk about those in another, but these are tools. They're shortcuts for all of this. I don't actually use these buttons, but some do. Okay, this right here tells you what tool you're using, and this I do want you to see really quickly. Is I want to show you that not only does it show the tool, go ahead and put it back on the select tool, but it also gives you right here the shortcut to turn on this tool. Okay, so let's say I want the trim tool. If you watch this right here, I'm just going to hit the letter T. If I want the zoom tool, I'm going to hit the letter Z. If I hit the blade tool, I want to hit the letter B. And if I want to go back to the select tool, which is the default tool, okay, default selection, I'm going to hit the letter A. Now, one thing I want you to see right here is I want you to look at the difference between the select tool and the position tool. Okay, P is the position tool, A is the select tool. They look very similar. If you ever start using Final Cut, and it starts doing things in the timeline that seem odd to you, double check and make sure you haven't accidentally turned these tools on. I will say, since you don't have to hit a modifier key and you just have to hit the letters, it is very easily to accidentally change these tools. So you want to keep an eye right there. Okay, right here we have some tools that affects the viewer window. And right here we have some tools that affect the timeline. Okay, so this is just an overview of everything in the Final Cut. Of course, we also have pull down menus up here where we can edit. Okay, that's just a quick overview of the Final Cut timeline. We'll start talking about how to use all of this in our next video. Okay, bye for now.